Every time we find someone has inadvertently used the PACEL model without credit to SpinSucks, we have a process we follow. If I know the person or someone at the company, I reach out personally and I politely ask for credit and a link to the website. If it's not someone I know personally, one of my colleagues will do that. In most cases, I'd say 95% of the time, it's truly inadvertent. People believe that if it's on the internet, it's free to use. Of course, that's not the case at all. You can't use someone's likeness or photos or logos without permission or often without paying for it. And yet, it happens all the time. But when you point it out, almost everyone is gracious and will fix it immediately. Then there are the 5% who are, well, let's just say complete jerks about it. These are the people who blame the interns every time. In fact, when someone tells me it was the intern's fault, I know I have a fight ahead of me and will likely have to bring the attorney in to help because these people are always full of it. And they're not going to admit wrongdoing no matter how much documentation you show that proves you own the copyright and the trademarks. The poor intern always takes the brunt. When companies post tweets that should have stayed in drafts, there's always someone who says, fire the intern who posted this. And when an email is accidentally sent with dear first name embedded, the same cry rallies across the web. I don't know about you, but I was definitely an intern at one point in my life, and I made some mistakes. But I've also made mistakes as a professional with many years of experience and expertise unique to me and my agency. None of those mistakes are the fault of the intern, which is what we're going to discuss on this week's episode of the SpinSucks podcast.
If you're a communications pro who works hard, doesn't compromise quality, and gets the job done, welcome home. We'll share our tips, tricks, and stories, and together we will change the face of PR. Spin sucks, but we don't. With the SpinSucks podcast, here's Jenny Dietrich.
Welcome back to the SpinSucks podcast. I'm Jenny Dietrich. A few years ago, my family and I were in the Outer Banks vacationing. I had shipped my bike out there and I was hitting the road every morning to soak up some rays and get my training rides in. About halfway into our vacation, I was out on the road and I stopped to take some photos. At that time, I found a 911 text from our CMO asking me to call her. Because that pretty much never happened, I called her immediately. As it turns out, the emails I had set up to go out while I was gone about our new online course hadn't been finished. I hadn't finished writing them. Oh, I managed to send them out, but I never finished the copy for any of them. And people were responding to the emails and filling up my team's inboxes. I had to turn around immediately and write and send a mea culpa. I didn't blame the intern. I didn't blame anyone. I said, I'm an idiot and I'm sorry. That got a few laughs and some good old-fashioned ribbing, and it took a while for my blood pressure to return to normal. Of course, paddleboarding in the ocean helped with that. But now it's a funny story to tell. When Hurricane Ida hit Louisiana last week, the Today Show covered it, of course, and the story was accompanied by a graphic that said, fifth strongest landfall on the continental U.S. tied with Hurricane Laura 2020, rapid intensification of 65-mile-per-hour winds in 24 hours, and some other stat. Yeah, it really aired with some other stat as the third bullet point, which means someone screwed up. But do we really think it was the intern? The internet got out their pitchforks and started chanting, fire the intern, fire the intern. In June, HBO Max, or Hobo Max, as my small one calls it, accidentally sent a blank email to its subscribers. I received it and chuckled to myself and then deleted it. HBO took to Twitter and apologized and claimed the intern accidentally sent it out. Their tweet said, we mistakenly sent an empty test email to a portion of our HBO Max mailing list this evening. We apologize for the inconvenience, and as the jokes pile in, yes, it was the intern. No, really, and we're helping them through it. They concluded their tweet with a heart emoji. The point is, mistakes happen. We all make them. All of us, every single one of us. According to my kid, I make mistakes multiple times a day and I'm constantly wrong. And I'm an idiot. I really thought I had until the teenage years before this happened, but apparently I was wrong. Even if the mistake were the intern's fault, blaming them doesn't help matters in the least. It makes you look like a weak leader and it hurts morale and it breaks down culture. Sure, HBO took a funny approach, but it still makes them look weak. I feel sorry for their interns. We all need leaders who will stand up for us. In just a minute, I'll be back to discuss why blaming the intern is a thing and why it needs to stop. I'll be right back. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Now that our summer breaks are over and kids hopefully are back in school full time, it's time to think about how to evolve the work you do, both to learn new skills and to measure the effectiveness of your work to the organization's goals. You can do that through the PESO model certification, which was created by the SpinSucks team, is taught by yours truly, and has the rubber stamp of Syracuse University, which means when you're fully certified in using the PESO model, you will have a certificate from both SpinSucks and the SI Newhouse School for Public Communications at Syracuse University. To learn more, visit us at spinsucks.com/academy. That's spinsucks.com/academy. A few years ago, former White House intern Monica Lewinsky mocked Senator Marco Rubio on Twitter after he criticized an intern for writing a political article stating that he was walking back his comments on the GOP tax law. She tweeted, "Blaming the intern is so 1990s. And I suppose that's probably when blaming the intern became a thing, when the President of the United States blamed the intern for his affair. When HBO blamed the intern for the test email that was sent to subscribers, the internet actually came to their rescue, and rightfully so. Because there is no reason on earth, an intern should have the keys to ever hit send on anything that goes out publicly. That's why there are approval measures in just about every piece of software available today. Our interns can't do anything more than upload copy to any of our publishing platforms. There are at least 2 levels of review and safeguards to prevent mistakes from happening. That's also why the mistakes that happen on our end are almost always because of me or my senior leadership team, because we don't have those levels of review and safeguards in place. So you can bet if there's a major mistake, either I did it or I approved it. Oy vey. Here's the thing. When anyone blames the intern, it says more about them than it does about the intern. Even if the intern or really anyone else on my team made a mistake, I would cover for them publicly and use it as a learning opportunity for them internally. Interns and young professionals are on your team to learn, soak in as much as they can, and learn different parts of the job so they can make an informed decision about the career they've chosen and what kind of work they want to do for the rest of their working lives. That's what they're there for. It's not to take the blame for mistakes, whether or not they made them. It's not to be the brunt of jokes. It's not to be the fall person. The next time the intern is blamed, remember what it was like to be in their shoes and come to their defense. The next time there's a mistake made inside your organization, don't blame the intern. It makes you look weak. And the next time someone blames the intern for the PESO model theft that we find, I will send them a link to this podcast. If you want a good laugh and to reminisce about all of the mistakes you made as an intern, go to Twitter and search for the hashtag #DearIntern. It'll take you down a fun rabbit hole for sure. And if you'd like to share that rabbit hole with us and you're not already a member of the free SpinSucks community, get your butt over there. You can find us at spinsucks.com/spin-sucks-community. That's spinsucks.com/spin-sucks-community. It's free, it's fun, it's challenging, it's educational, and you can have these kinds of conversations every single day. I'll see you next week.
If you're ready to change the face of PR, make sure you subscribe to the SpinSucks podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, leave us a rating and a review.